What's up, folks? Tony here at Harrisonburg Honda, and you already see it. Behind me now is the newly redesigned 2023 Honda Pilot Elite. For 2023, we've seen redesigns on the CR-V, the HR-V, and the Civic. Now the Pilot gets that awesome new redesign, and it's the first time since 2016. Now, if we remember previously, the second generation Pilot was that boxier design, and that ended in 2015. That third gen Pilot was a little bit more bulky, and it resembled the Odyssey, just a little bit more jacked up. Now, we love that platform the Pilot's been on since its creation. We had that 3.5 liter V6 engine putting out 280 horsepower, but all new for 2023 is a newly redesigned, newly revamped 3.5 liter V6 engine, puts out 5 more horsepower, still gonna be the same torque, but the way it develops that torque now with that new 10-speed transmission is awesome. It's only gonna be about 3 inches bigger than the third generation model and have a slightly wider track. And we see that here right in the front with that awesome open wide grille now to allow for better airflow for that new 3.5 V6. Moving down, we see we have functional vents on the left and the right side. So you're not gonna have any of those air curtains here blocking that front and really dragging that vehicle down. Of course, all the way down here at the bottom, on your Touring and your Elite models, you have those parking sensors that are gonna be built in, and you're gonna have fog lights now, LED fog lights on the Pilot. Now, just like everything else that gets redesigned for 23, check out these headlights. They're sleek, blacked out back frame design. You have your turn signal indicator that'll be at the top there, nice and subtle with that black accent. But below that, you'll have that LED daytime running light. And you can almost say now, looking at this new Pilot, that everything in this new model lineup for Honda has a uniform kind of fit and finish. The presence that the new Hondas have is completely changed now how we view this vehicle on the road. It gives it that elegant feel, but again, we know it's a Honda. Reliability and practicality are the most important things. Now on your Elites and your Touring models, you're gonna get that awesome chrome accent that's gonna wrap that functional vent there just above your fog lights. Now again, that chrome brow, just like we saw with the CR-V, the Pilot shares that, and also we saw that with the Passport. The Pilot features an awesome glossed out black grille, but smack dab in the center is that giant Honda logo that really dominates the highway as it's moving forward. Now on your Elite models like this one and your Trail Sport model, you'll notice one hidden little feature there. You have a front camera. That front camera is going to be nice when you're on the trails, getting into those tight parking spots. Now you'll notice something beside that camera whenever you activate it, and it's going to be a little cleaning spritzer there. Basically, anytime you activate your camera, whether you be in reverse or moving forward, you're going to have the ability to clean off that camera. So when you are on the trail, no worries at all. You don't have to get out and do it. With one click of a button, it'll spray that camera off for you and make it nice and clean. Of course, we talked about a uniform design now across Honda's model lineup, and we see it here with that side profile of the all-new Pilot. In the front, shares some similar cues to how we saw with the Passport refresh, but more noticeably the CR-V redesign as well. More snub nose finish here in the front. We completely lose that kind of egg, that bubble body that we had with the last generation for something a little sleeker, a little leaner, and a little bit more mature. Now, following that same uniform design now in the Honda model lineup, we see that increased A-pillar. Now, it increases your visibility, and we saw that with the HR-V, the Civic, and the CR-V. The Pilot now gets that same increased angle for your passengers and your driver. Now, moving down as well, a little taller of a B-pillar. Door handles now are gonna share that same parallel flush design that we see across the model lineup, but also what we saw in the second generation Pilot, which is, again, it's nice and it's sleek, and it kind of pays homage back to its heritage and its roots. The 23 Pilot now will have 5 trim packages available. You'll start with the Sport model, your EXL, your Trail Sport, your Touring, and your Elite that I have behind me here. Now across those 5 trim packages, you'll have 4 wheel options with that. Your Sport and your Touring and the Elite will get an awesome 20-inch wheel. The Sport will have a sharp gray, darker finish than you will have and see here on the Touring and the Elites. But the real difference is on your EXLs and your Trail Sport. Those will have 18-inch wheels, and on the EXL, it'll be an 18-inch pure metallic finish. Now on the Trail Sport, which is now the most off-road capable Honda Pilot ever, you'll see an 18-inch aggressive performance style wheel that's capable of handling anything off-road. You have that C-pillar divider, that aggressive C-pillar divider, and you also have that rear quarter glass, which again pays homage to our first generation Pilots. Now for 23, we see that taillight design. It's sleeker, it's leaner, more durable and aggressive than what we had in the third generation Pilot taillight. That last year model taillight was a little chunky, a little bulky. Now it's really cleaned up and it flows nice across the whole back end. And of course, this big blacked out banner Pilot logo that you have really ties that back in together. So of course, this is the biggest Pilot yet, but it kind of plays some tricks on your eyes because it brings it in, makes it have that narrow feel and that narrow presence. This whole kind of red will be your glowing tail light. You also have an inner brake light that'll glow red right inside here. Your turn signal indicator is going to be on that outside banner. It's going to be LED as well. And then you have an LED reverse light also. Now again, all of this is wrapped in a nice gloss black finish that we also saw with the new HRV and the new CRV. On your touring and your elite models, you'll have that blacked out spoiler, and also on your sport models. The same with those roof rails now. On your sport, your touring, your elite, and your trail sport, you'll have those roof rails standard. Moving down here, completely refreshed design angles for the new bumper, dual exhaust finish, and those parking sensors in the rear. Now on your trail sport and your elite models, you'll get that 360 bird's eye view camera, which we'll touch base when we jump on the inside, but you'll also get that awesome high resolution rear camera now. You'll notice, just like with the front, we have that little tiny sprayer. So again, when you're on the trails, you're in the dunes, you're in the swamp, and that rear camera is all gunked up and muddy, with one click of a button, that little sprayer will clean that camera off for you so you can maneuver anywhere on the off-roads. Honda's always made it easy for us to access our cargo area, and especially for the Pilot. We had the hands-free tailgate access now, one touch on the key remote, one touch on the tailgate, or one touch on the inside. Whether you're short like me or just have your hands full, Honda makes it super easy to get inside that cargo area. So now, all those short jokes of me reaching to the sky to close that tailgate, they're out the window, and I don't have to worry about it any longer. Now with the awesome new redesign, we also get some awesome new tech in the Pilot. And that starts here with that little button there on the back. That's your easy kind of walk away button. Anytime your hands are full and you can't quite reach up there and hit that button up top, or fish the key out of your pocket to close the tailgate as well. No sweat, no worries. You hit that button, wait for it to beep, grab your goods. As you're stepping back or walking away, you'll notice the taillights will flash and the tailgate closes. With the third rows up and the 23 Pilot, we have 22.4 cubic foot of space in between that third row in the back of that tailgate. Now also for 2023, we get increased storage ability here in that underneath platform under your cargo area. This allows you to be able to store that center seat in the second row, or just put any goods you have back here while you're using that seat. And you also have some nice dividers on either side. Now, just like we had with our last generation Pilot, that kind of two-way ability you have with that platform, you still have that here for 23. You have that nice kind of fabric side, but you can flip it to a nice, more durable, rugged material side as well. Now, from the back of the cargo area to that back of that third seat, you're gonna have 22.4 cubic foot of space. Now, when you lay that third row down, you're gonna have over 54 cubic foot of space. And when you lay that second row down, you have over 80 cubic foot of space. Now let's jump on the interior of the all-new 2023 Pilot and truly check out what makes this the baddest Pilot yet. Welcome now to the interior of the all-new Pilot. First thing you'll notice now is this all-new color that you'll get exclusively with your Touring and your Elite Pilot now. Also, those same redesigned seats we love with the CRV, we have those here in the Pilot. So they really hug you, and again, they're the most comfortable seat that Honda's put out. Looking at this dash and this layout of the dash, everything is nice and sleek, and all the buttons are nice and physical for you for easy access. Now, moving down to the center console here, again, just like how we saw with the first generation and that second generation console, we have a more lifted center console. It's easier for you and your passengers just to relax on that long drive, but you also have tons of functional storage and use here in the new Pilot. Down here, you have this deep storage open pocket there for you to hide all your goods, 2 cup holders in the center console, wireless charging pad for your Touring and your Elite models and your Trail Sport package, but also that charging pad has an additional kind of little spot beside it for your passenger to place their phone. Now we also see the same little tray that we got with our second gen and our first gen Pilot. We have them back here in the 4th generation Pilot also. You got that sleek shift-by-wire design now for 23 that we've seen traditionally in that third generation Pilot, but we also have this new drive mode selector. So you have multiple drive modes from sand, snow, mud. You also have a tow mode now and your traditional eco mode. So all these now are going to be simple and easy to access for 23. So of course on your Elite you have that heated and your cool seats, you have your heated steering wheel, your heated rear seats, tri-climate zone control as well, Bose audio for the first time now on the Pilot. But probably the most noticeable thing is when your passengers are looking up and they notice that you have a panoramic sunroof and a one-touch moonroof. Now moving into your center console, again we talked about your ventilated seats, your heated seats, your dual climate control, now physical buttons. No more of those little touch sensitive buttons that the screen gets all sticky or oily from your fingertips. Now we have aggressive, gnarly buttons. They're physical buttons that you can press. Now you have a 9-inch infotainment display, and on your EXLs, your Trail Sports, your Touring, and your Elite models, you get wireless Apple CarPlay. The steering wheel, it's going to share that same aesthetic design now across that model lineup for Honda, that same uniform design. Leather wrapped steering wheel, we have our paddle shifters in the back. It's going to be now pretty awesome for that 10-speed transmission to cycle through your gears, give you a quicker acceleration while you're on the highway. We also have that heated steering wheel button smack dab in the center, just like we saw with the CR-V. So it's not going to be tucked away behind the steering wheel anymore. It's right there, super easy to access. You have a 10-inch driver instrument cluster, digital cluster now. And for the first time for 2023, Honda gives us heads-up display in the Pilot. So when you're inside now of the Trail Sport and the Elite Pilots, you'll notice something a little bit different that the EXL, the Sport, and the Touring model doesn't get. And it's going to be that little button right there. That little tiny little button is going to be your trail camera now for 23. So it's going to be similar to how we saw in generations past with that right lane camera that Honda offered. And for the first time in 4 generations now, Honda gives us that 360 bird's eye view camera that we've never had before. Welcome to the second row now of the all-new redesigned 2023 Honda Pilot. The biggest thing we notice now is when the doors are completely open, we almost have a 90-degree ability to open those doors. Now, as I jump on the inside, and we look at all this space now in the second row. Again, I'm not the biggest guy in the world by all means, but when I'm back here in the second row, this new Pilot looks like a yacht, looks like a cruise ship. Now, for the first time, Honda gives you the option to turn your Elite into an 8-passenger, or with one removable option, it could be a 7-passenger, and we'll get to that. But first, let's talk about some of the controls we have down here in the Elite. Different than your other models, the Elite gets heated seats in the rear and USB-A charging ports in the back, and a nice 115-volt outlet also. Now, like I mentioned earlier, for the first time, the Pilot gives you an option. You can keep it as an 8-passenger vehicle, or you can make it a 7-seater. Pretty easy now. You know, you're saying, Tony, that's not a traditional captain's chair. Don't worry, this whole center console now can be completely removed and stowed away in the back. Now, Honda still gives us that quick access for your third row. Simply just hit that button there, the seat glides forward, and you just step in. Now, just like that, I'm in the third row of the all-new Pilot, and check out all this space I have. I can stretch out, relax. I'm ready for the road trip. Driver, next left, please. Now back here in the third row, you get 4 cup holders, multiple USB-A charging ports on both sides, several vents, and again, those same redesigned seats are back here. So the third row is just as comfortable as the second row. Well, we're here now, the price. And for Honda, that's the most important thing, is how we can make this affordable for the consumer, especially since it's going to be the best SUV in its class and in its lineup. Starting at $40,495 is going to be your Sport model with a non-premium color option. When you move up to your EXL packages, $43,295 is going to be starting MSRP. Going up to your Trail Sport now, for the first time for Honda, it's going to start with a MSRP of $49,695. Now your Touring will start at $47,795, and when you move up to the Elite, like we're in now, it's going to have a starting MSRP of $53,375. Folks, thank you again for taking some time out of your busy life and checking out the 2023 Pilot redesign video that we put together for you. We hope you enjoyed it, but most importantly, we hope to see you in our showrooms enjoying this new vehicle and hopefully taking one home for yourself. Thank you again. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe on our channel. Check out part 1 and part 2 of our CR-V videos, and hopefully we see you soon. Thank you guys again. Enjoy the rest of your day.